Festive flags, September 15th to October 15th. Hispanic Heritage Month, telling all Americans stories. A park ranger in a green uniform, sweater, and badge sits in front of a window to the forest.
Bienvenidos a la comunidad.
In subtitles.
Welcome to the largest gateway community to Olympic National Park, Port Angeles, or as it was called during the Spanish colonial era, Nuestra Señora del Puerto de Los Ángeles, Our Lady of the Port of the Angels.
A map showing numerous Spanish settlements along the Pacific coast.
Its name conserves the Spanish imperial activities in the Pacific Northwest.
A historic map of the Pacific coast labeled in Spanish.
Here, Spain hoped to find the mythical Northwest Passage that connected the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, to counter the British regional advances and to dominate the sea otter pelt trade.
A historic photo of otter pelts hanging up.
To chart good ports and future settlement sites.
A historic photo of a rocky shoreline labeled Cape Flattery.
In 1790, Spain tapped Peruvian Manuel Quimper Benítez del Pino,
A sculpture bust of a man.
to map the Strait of Juan de Fuca.
A historic map of a peninsula.
Quimper attached his name to the Quimper Peninsula, today the site of Port Townsend, and he named Nuestra Señora del Puerto de Los Ángeles, today known as Port Angeles.
A wooden structure with interpretive panels and carvings of ships and canoes.
Quimper also laid claim to Macaw Land and renamed it Puerto de Núñez Gaona, making it the first non-native settlement in Washington. That outpost would only last 4 months. Spanish colonizers met with the essential facts of life in the Pacific Northwest: rain, humidity, and eager wildlife. Mold and rats attacked pantries, making basic sustenance a challenge.
A historic photo of a group of whalers in a long wooden canoe.
Failing to establish alliances and close trading ties with the indigenous people for sea otter pelts, Spain's colonial dreams for the region disappeared.
A historic photo of an otter lying next to a canoe.
By 1794, the British pressured Spain to abandon its main northwest settlements. The Adams-Onis Treaty relinquished Spain's territorial claims to the Pacific Northwest. In 1846, the U.S. signed the Oregon Treaty with Great Britain, fixing the boundary between the United States and then British colonial Canada. Today, only a few names like Port Angeles commemorate Spain's failed imperial dreams in the Pacific Northwest.
A map of the United States, decorated with festive flags, a guitar, a fan, pottery, and dancers. It reads, Hispanic Heritage in your national parks. nps.gov/telling all Americans stories. #Encuentra tu Parque. The National Park Service commemorates America's rich Hispanic history and culture found in many parks. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, San Antonio Mission's National Historic Park preserves over 300 years of history and culture. The Castillo de San Marcos is not only a monument of stone and mortar, but also the crossroads of European, African, and Native cultures on the Florida coast. Under the leadership of Cesare Chavez and others, farm workers and supporters worked to secure higher wages and safer working conditions. Mexican homesteaders and ranch owners in the Santa Monica Mountains area built a strong cultural heritage still seen today. Siglo de Oro festivals at the Chamizal National Memorial bring history back to life with reenactments of 16th and 17th century colonial Spain. Did you know? Hispanic Heritage Month, September 15th to October 15th. Find more park connections at nps.gov. Music credit: La Petenera by La Masa Fina, used under Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike license. Photos courtesy of Forks Timber Museum, North Olympic Library System, Macaw Cultural and Research Center, and the University of Washington, and Wikipedia.